Good morning and thank you for joining us on this edition of the Breakfast Rundown on TV1. Bringing you the news, I'm Therunee Karunaratne. As always, we have the details on all the top stories from here at home, around the world, as well as sports coming right up. Stay tuned with us for the news in detail. Well, this morning's Breakfast Rundown will be started off with news from overseas. This is the very latest with regards to the conflict between Iran and Israel. Now, the conflict between the two countries entered its fifth day today, with air raid sirens sounding in Tel Aviv shortly after midnight, after Iran launched additional missiles towards Israel. An Israeli strike hit Iran's state broadcaster yesterday, with Israel confirming this attack. Now, Israel's military said the building also served as a communications center used by Iran's armed forces. Meanwhile, according to a U.S. State Department correspondent, U.S. President Donald Trump has veered from a full-throated support for Israel's strikes on Iran, though he has stated as recently as an hour ago that Iran should have signed a deal with the U.S. and that residents in Tehran must evacuate immediately. Trump also issued an ominous warning telling Iranians to immediately evacuate their capital city on a social media post. The president wrote on Truth Social, his platform, that everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran, but he did not say why exactly they should do so. His comments come after Israeli officials advised residents to evacuate parts of northeastern Tehran earlier today, saying it planned to target military infrastructure in the country. Now, in his post, Trump also adds that Iran should have signed the deal that he put forward to them in the most recent round of U.S.-Iran nuclear talks. He said, and I quote, simply stated, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I said it over and over again, unquote. However, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that the attacks are fully coordinated with the United States. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has further confirmed that the U.S. president will also leave the G7 summit in Canada early so that he can attend to quote-unquote many important matters. Leavitt wrote on X, quote, because of what's going on in the Middle East, President Trump will be leaving tonight after dinner with heads of state, unquote. Now, additionally, U.S. President Donald Trump has requested the National Security Council to convene in the Situation Room. The latest attack by Israel on Iran came after the Israeli military said it had identified missiles launched towards it. No casualties were reported from the latest Iranian attack, and Israel has lifted the alert. According to Iran's health ministry, at least 224 people have been killed by Israeli strikes since Friday. The number killed in Israel rose to 24 earlier. Well, what's the very latest situation with regards to Sri Lankans in Israel? Now, the number of Sri Lankans injured due to the ongoing conflict between Israel and Iran has risen to 4, according to the latest reports. Sri Lanka's ambassador to Israel, Nimal Bandar, confirmed that 2 other Sri Lankans were also affected after their residences were damaged as a result of this unrest. They have since been relocated to safer locations. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka's Ministry of Foreign Affairs stated that special attention is being paid to requests from Sri Lankan workers currently residing in Israel and Iran who wish to be repatriated or returned home. Although airspace in the region has been restricted, travel to and from Israel is still possible via Jordan and Egypt. With that, let's move on to local news for this morning. Now, the National People's Power has secured more key local government positions. Indrajit Katugampola from the National People's Power has been elected as the new mayor of the Ratnapura Municipal Council. He secured 14 votes in a secret ballot, narrowly defeating Darshana Gunawardena from the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, who received 12 votes. One councillor abstained from voting. Meanwhile, the National People's Power also claimed control of the Valikanda Pradeshia Sabha. Although the NPP had secured 8 members compared to 9 members from the other parties, NPP candidate D.W. Vasantha was selected chairman in a secret ballot held yesterday, receiving 9 votes. Meanwhile, in Kalpitia, Abdul Sattar Muhammadu Rikas of the National People's Power was appointed chairman of the Pradeshia Sabha following a secret ballot. He received 16 votes, while his opponent Muhammadu Ibrahim Muhammadu Asik from the Samagi Janabalawege garnered 15 votes. Meanwhile, the Sri Lankan Parliament is also scheduled to convene this morning under the leadership of Speaker Dr. Jagat Vikramaratne. The session is scheduled to begin at 9:30 a.m. today. From 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., the agenda includes oral questions expecting verbal responses from ministers. From 11 a.m. until 11:30 a.m., the Parliament will proceed with questions raised under standing orders. Thereafter, from 11:30 a.m. up to 5 p.m. today, the session will focus on approving regulations under the Convention Against Doping in Sport Act number 33 of 2013. The Parliament is scheduled to sit until this coming Friday. And finally, on to the weather forecast for this morning. The Met Department says that showers will occur at times in the western and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in the Nuwara Eliya, Kandy, Galle and Mathura districts. Fairly heavy falls of about 50 millimeters are likely at some places as well. Several spells of showers will occur in the northwestern province and in the Mathale district. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the Uva province and in the Ampara and Batiklu districts during the afternoon or night. Now, fairly strong winds of about 30 to 40 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the western slopes of the central hills and in the northern, north central, southern and northwestern provinces and in the Trincomalee district. And as always, the general public is requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. Well, we have more news overseas this morning. This news item concerns the war between Ukraine and Russia. Now, Ukraine and Russia have completed an exchange of dead bodies, the final stage of a deal to bring home the fallen soldiers. Kiev said Moscow handed over 1,245 bodies on Monday, bringing the total to 6,057 over the past few days. It said it is now verifying whether all the bodies were indeed of the Ukrainian soldiers. Russia put 6,060, the overall number of bodies transferred to Ukraine. It also said 78 bodies of Russian soldiers have been repatriated as of now. Ukrainian Interior Minister accused Russia of deliberately complicating this identification process. He said, and I quote, "The bodies are returned in extremely mutilated state. Parts of the same bodies are returned in different bags," unquote. Russian President Putin launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Now, the latest exchange took place at an undisclosed location on Monday. The bodies in white bags were brought in refrigerator lorries. Red Cross members also monitored this process. With that, we move on to sports news for this morning. In sports, it's cricket. The first test match of the two-match series between hosts Sri Lanka and Bangladesh is scheduled to begin today at the Galle International Cricket Stadium. The match is set to commence at 10 a.m. Both teams held practice sessions yesterday in preparation of this encounter. Sri Lanka will be led by Dhananjay De Silva in this test series, which forms part of the 2025-2027 ICC World Test Championship. The squad includes key players such as Pathum Nissanka, Oshada Fernando, Dinesh Chandimal, Angela Matthews, Kusal Mendes and Kamindu Mendes. Newcomers Sonal Dinusha, Pavan Ratnayaka, Tharindu Ratnayaka, Pasindu Surya Bandara and Isita Vijay Sundara have also secured places in this 18-member Sri Lankan squad. Veteran cricketer Angelo Matthews will play his final international test match during this series, marking the end of a glorious test career. The Bangladesh team, captained by Najmul Hossain Shanto, features experienced players including Mehdi Hassan Miraz, Zakir Ali, Litan Das and Taijul Islam. Sri Lanka and Bangladesh have faced off in 26 test matches to date. Sri Lanka has emerged victorious in 20 of these encounters, while Bangladesh have won just one match. 5 matches have ended in draws. This test series will contribute to the points table of the ongoing 2025-2027 ICC World Test Championship. And that's a wrap of this morning's edition of the Breakfast Rundown on TV1. I'm Therunee Karunaratne for the Newsfirst team. Thank you for joining us, and do join us tomorrow as well. Same time, same place for more of the very latest from here at home and around the world. Take care. Have a wonderful day ahead.
Far from the city noise, under a mango tree, children turn broken desks into a stage.